I'm joined by a man who can hopefully help me to make sense of what was going through my subconscious that night. Please welcome dream analyst Roi de Lune! There we go. Yes! Thank you. Roi, you're a dream analyst. How much can you tell about someone from their dreams?
Well, you can tell quite a lot, actually. It depends how long have you got. You know? Dreams always tell an awful lot about what's actually going on behind the scenes, as it were. You know, what our subconscious is telling us.
And how does dream analysing work?
How does it work? Well, basically, what happens in your dream is your subconscious mind processing things that have happened to you, or your fears, your anxieties. And it often comes out in quite symbolic ways, as opposed. But that said, sometimes it's quite direct. You can, for example, you can have a dream of being at work all day, and it's just you just wake up and think, well, what was that about? You know,
it
was exactly. But it's between one extreme and another very often.
What are some of the more common dreams, and what do they mean? Can you tell us that?
Common dreams, things like, for example, one of the most common is your teeth falling out or becoming loose. That's very common. It tends to indicate that you feel ill-equipped to deal with something, although you haven't got the wherewithal or the ability. Often that can relate to financial matters.
Okay.
You know, literally, you just don't feel that you've got enough money to cope, say, with a bill that's come in, or the rent, or what have you.
And quite interesting, because your teeth are literally a tool that you can't really do without.
Exactly.
Oh, I've never really thought about that. That's incredible. Another really common one that I imagine many people would have had, I mean, some of them have come to work naked, is being at work naked or at school naked. What does that one mean?
Very common. I mean, it's all very contextual, and I think that's something to remember about dreams. Is that one thing might mean a different thing to one person. To another, but generally speaking, finding yourself naked in your dream in a public environment, like you say at work or whatever, usually indicates that you feel exposed in some way. Now that can be emotionally exposed. It can be literally, you can feel that people can see too much of your personality, or they know too much about you, perhaps, or that you feel perhaps recently you've been feeling anxious about being in a situation you're not comfortable with. It can be something like that too.
And I don't always remember my dreams, but do we dream every night?
Most people, they say that most people have some kind of neural activity, which is dreaming, every night. Now, you can often wake up and think that you didn't have any dreams, but this is usually not the case. You will have had some sort of dream activity, you're just not remembering it.
And what kind of external factors can influence our dreams?
Oh, everything.
Literally everything?
Everything and anything you can think of. But the things that can certainly bring on more dreams than perhaps you might otherwise have are eating, or lots of activity, and certainly stress before going to bed.
Okay.
So it's not so much eating cheese, but eating anything, actually.
So, Roi, as you saw there, Jamie and I spent the night in the hotel and had quite a disturbed night's sleep, and I would love it if you could help make sense of my dream.
I'll give it a go.
So I had a few that night. The first one I had was my girlfriend and I had a baby.
Oh, okay.
It's quite a literal dream, but what does that mean?
Well, often babies can seem to be symbolic of new ventures or new creative projects. Very often, so you know, giving birth to something, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't just you on your own; it was you and your girlfriend. So there's something that is conceivable that you know that could actually happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether maybe there's some. Maybe you actually have some sort of conversations with her about that.
Yeah, maybe do, but don't honestly get any ideas, Samantha. It's not happening, ever. And you too, Mum, you're not being a grandma. My other one was, I was by myself swimming in the sea. What would that mean?
Well, water in dreams usually represents our emotional state. And if you're swimming in the sea, well, the sea is an immense body of water. And, well, that could be seen as... You could, maybe you're feeling a lot of emotions at that particular point, but swimming in the sea, well, you're dealing with that emotional situation.
Well, that's
right? You weren't drowning.
No. Definitely not. It's quite sort of a leisurely swim.
Oh, there you are. You see, so you were coping with it perfectly fine. So that's you coping with your emotional life.
Okay, and the last one that night, obviously we knew you were coming on, so I wrote them down. I was driving a car that was out of control, and the number plate was "Do Not Disturb." But yeah, I was driving an out of control car. What does that?
That's actually quite a common one.
Oh, really?
As well. Being in any kind of vehicle and that you can't control it, is pretty much how a lot of people feel from time to time. It's a sense of not being in control of your life path, of where you want to go. If you think about it, any vehicle, you know, it's something that's transporting you from one place to another. And if you're not in control of it, well, it's
absolutely not in control of my career. Really, I want Christine's job, basically. Thank you so much, Roy. It's been an absolute dream to have you here.
Nice
and
one.
before you go, I believe you have a favourite moment from last night's show you want to relive. Let's take a look.
It was sent in by a fella on Twitter. Saw this